What is up, ladies and gents? Noah here, and welcome to another Payday 2 Halloween update video. It seems very strange saying that on the 4th of November, but hey, the update itself really has outdone itself. It is by far, in my opinion, the best Halloween update we have seen. It's a fantastic new heist which brings in some mechanics we've never seen before, and it is actually one of the prettiest, spookiest, and atmospheric heists we have seen in the game at all, as far as I'm concerned. Very impressed by this particular piece of completely free content. So in this video, I'm going to run you through the heist so you guys know what to expect, because there are some very innovative things Overkill has thrown at us in this heist, and also just give you some first impressions and let you know how I'm feeling this heist is going down, because, as I've said, really impressed by my experience with it thus far. So there's some spliced together gameplay in the background, hopefully giving you a reasonable illustration of some playstyles and some features within the heist. So we start off in an Alcatraz-style prison island, which is really cool and atmospheric. You'll see the sea in the distance, the moon, the dark clouds. It is that spooky feel that I wish had come out before Halloween, executed perfectly. I love it. And the fact you start outside the prison is, I imagine, for some a bit of a disappointment. You want to get in there and see what's going on, because that's where the real meat of the heist is found. But I assure you will not be disappointed by the sight of a giant cloaker flipping towards you. The necro cloaker is back, and this time he's not going to down you in a single large swing of his leg. Instead, he's actually going to place down the brand new mechanic within this heist, the mutator wheel, the wheel of fortune, the wheel of nightmares, whatever you want to call it. It is a ton of fun. This wheel will get placed down, and there's a bunch of options seen around the outside of it. You'll set up a drill within it. It's the first thing you do within the heist once you reach the necro cloaker, and you will spin the wheel. Now, depending on the difficulty you are on, the wheel will stop at either 1 or 2 points, I believe. I don't think it goes to any more than 2. It may go to 3 on 1 down. I hope not. I actually haven't had any time with 1 down as of yet. I've just been sort of soaking in the heist to give you these first impressions. Now, the mutators you can end up with will only be for that particular section of the heist, but I assure you, they make this heist one of the hardest in the game. The randomness is exciting to me. I know it's a bit frustrating for those playing on the hardest difficulties, because RNG can come into whether this heist is easily completable or not, but it is arcadey, crazy, and fun. The things you can suffer from are massive headless bulldozers, a large set of snipers carried in by the necro cloaker. You can have permanent green flames on the floor, cutting off certain points of cover. You can end up with a smoky area, which is fantastic again for the atmosphere. Not always fantastic for your PC's running, but hey, it's a sacrifice I am willing to pay for some awesome effects. And finally, you can get a drill, which the cloaker will bring in, and it's the only way I believe the necro cloaker himself can actually damage you within the heist. But he will use a massive drill, slam it into the ground, causing screen shake for those away, making it a little harder to actually win in combat. And if you are unlucky enough to be in its blast radius, you will be instantly downed, which is crazy. So you have to learn where these drills are going to come out. It does make some sense. Generally, it'll be in large courtyard areas very close to the wheel, making defending it that little bit harder. But that is my personal favorite. I think it's quite fun, quite new and different. You know, it's virtually an earthquake caused by a giant cloaker. What's not to love about it? And there's also a random, which means you don't know what to prepare for, meaning the drill could be even more deadly for you. So once you've done the first wheel, you will pick up a new keycard, which will get you entrance into the prison. And as I've said, I've already been raving about this first section of the heist, but the prison is where it is at. The prison is beautiful. It's massive. It's multi-layered. It's a sprawling area with loads of different nooks and crannies and rooms to explore, cover all over the place, enemies coming from quite literally every single direction, above, below, from the sides. And there's, beautiful places to hide equipment and to take cover when you have to. And it makes defending these additional wheels a ton of fun. So once you're in the prison, you're going to search for a second wheel. They can spawn in loads of different places, including the main body of the prison, which is one of the harder ones to hold down, not because enemies will get to it and switch it off very quickly, but because they will shoot down at you from massive vantage points and really cause you issues. There's a side room, which is my personal favourite, probably the most intense. The necro cloaker can be seen outside throwing enemies through the window essentially, causing issues all around. Again, you're surrounded above, from the side, enemies coming out of every single nook and cranny you see within the heist, which has been designed in this way for that spook factor and also just to improve the intensity of what is already a difficult and interesting heist. The final one that I can think of is in the back outdoor courtyard, which will also cause you massive problems and actually reminds me of the Titan safe defenses we've seen in previous heists, such as last year's Lab Rats, which is also really cool. Once you complete this drill though, it's the same sort of feeling you got outside, but in a different environment, often in a harder environment with even more enemies coming at you from different directions. Once you've completed that, you will get another keycard. That keycard can be used to open a loot deposit, causing the necro cloaker to throw out a load of bags of his special gold, which is apparently a luminous green color, a brand new bag coloring we've never seen before, and then throw it through the vent. Do keep in mind that you only have about a minute to do this, I believe, at which point all the bags left on the floor will blow up, damaging and easily taking down any allies in the vicinity. Do keep in mind, if you've picked up a bag though, it will not explode from your back and you can carry it safely home with you, so don't worry about that. Now, you can do this as many times as you want, trying to pick up as much gold as possible, making this in the same sort of vein as the other unlimited bag missions, potentially one of the best for experience if you have the time and patience to sit around for a long time, and the skill, because don't get me wrong, it is not an easy heist by any stretch of the imagination. So there you go, those are the primary mechanics. Once you've done that, once say you now want to leave the heist, don't stay for too long, don't be greedy. That is the theme within this heist, because you still have a fair way to go. You run to another control panel and open out doors, creating you a safe, I say safe, it's not particularly safe, path back outside and to a pair of zip lines. You're going to take those straight up onto a train on a bridge, which is another pretty intense part of the heist. There's going to be enemies coming in from the roof, from the sides. It's really cool because they managed to throw in every single sort of dynamic part of a heist I like within their level design. They've got long range sections, they've got close quarters from all angles, and they've got close quarters in a tunnel. Really cool. It means that every single weapon can excel at different parts of this particular heist, and that's what the train section is all about. You've got to run through to the end, pick up some C4 at the end, blow through, and you'll run past all sorts of money and previous valuables you may have stolen. Don't be distracted though, you're just running to the train, all the while you are being stalked by the necro cloaker, making it into a pretty epic escape. Definitely one of my favourites. The necro cloaker will be reaching for you, narrowly missing, and you know, there's an intensity to it we've not seen in other heists. I know it's silly, it's that silly sort of Halloween fun we were looking for. You know, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but that doesn't change how much fun this heist can be. So overall, a wonderful addition to the game in my opinion. I've had a ton of fun already on it. There are 3 primary achievements outside of the difficulty achievements. One which involves you completing it, or getting to the train I should say, within 4 minutes 44 seconds on Mayhem. I have tried this, you'll see in the gameplay. Solo, it's very difficult. I was around about 15 seconds short on my own on Mayhem difficulty, even with a sort of a rushing build. So I do recommend doing this one with a squad. There is a long night of horrors, which is all about staying for as long as possible, picking up as many keycards as possible, and doing that wheel of nightmares as many times as you can. This one's going to bring you a ton of loot, but also a ton of issues if you stick around too long. And finally, he's got experience. It's all about having fun on this heist, playing it on maybe just the hard difficulty, so not really too difficult at all, and only using the Nova's Shank and making sure you bring along Hoxton. So I like the achievements, they're fun to pick up, not too difficult, do often require a squad to get them done, but we've seen that a lot in the past. And remember, all of this content is free for those of you on PC, so download it right now if you have not already. I've had tons of fun with it. There's loads of new content in Payday already you guys can mess around with within the heist, and this is just the icing on the cake. I love this time of the year for Payday 2. Those of you at PaydayCon coming up this weekend, I hope you guys have a fantastic time. I wish I could be there. It is, of course, in Melbourne, Australia, I believe, which is a bit of a trek away for someone in Britain as I am. But again, those of you there, enjoy yourselves and bring back all the news we get given at the event. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll be bringing you, hopefully, my 1 down video on this heist as soon as possible.